Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm JC, and today I'm going to do another author to writing tag video that I stumbled upon. I was on Lynn Woolston's channel. I hope I'm saying that right. And I stumbled upon a fearless writer's tag, and I'm going to read the questions from my phone because I don't have them written down. So I will link to her video in the description box, and I'll put the questions also down there so that you can do the tag if you would like to. So it's the Fearless Writers tag, and question number 1: lies. What is the biggest fallacy you're telling yourself with writing or being a writer? I think the biggest lie I tell myself as a writer is that I'm not as good as all the other writers out there. Now, I have confidence in my writing, but I have this thing where whenever I read anyone else's writing, it's always, I know you're not supposed to compare, but it's just natural instinct. It's like, oh, their writing is so much better than mine, and then I get to thinking, well, no one's gonna want to read, what I wrote, because even though I think it's good, who else is gonna think it's good? But I usually find that people do like my work, but I think it's just more of a lack of confidence sometimes that creeps up in me, and sometimes it comes out of nowhere, because I will think that I've gotten over that feeling and it'll just pop up. Number 2, starting new. Does the first draft scare you or motivate you? The first draft excites me, so I guess I would say it motivates me because it's a new story, fresh story. I'm excited to get going. The only thing that I get hung up on sometimes is that the first paragraph or the first sentence it's hard for me. It's not that I can't start a story, it's that I obsess about having that first line right, and I know that there's editing and revisions for all of that, but it's like, for me, I can't really get going until I feel like I've nailed that first line or that first paragraph, and that I, can bring the reader in on that first part. And sometimes it takes a while for me to get what I feel is, the perfect paragraph, or the perfect paragraph for that moment in that draft, because by the time I finish the book, I'll go back and read it and it's not so perfect anymore, but it got me started. So but yeah, the first draft excites me. Number 3, roadblock. What's your number 1 obstacles stopping you from writing? Probably myself. Right now, currently, it's the outlining process, and because I've changed the angle of which the story that I want to write, and I had it all mapped out in my head, but when I sat down to get ready to outline it, I was like, no, I think I want to change the angle, except for I didn't have a new angle, so now I have to brainstorm a new one before I outline. But I think my biggest obstacle sometimes is thinking too far ahead into, are people gonna like it? Because that's, I like it, or I might like the story, I might like the premise or the subject matter, but ultimately, yes, we writers write for ourselves, but of course we want other people to like it. We're writing for ourselves, but we want to share our work, and what's the point of sharing your work if no one likes it? So yeah, I get hung up on that sometimes, and I'm working on that. So question number 4, reflect. How can you overcome the obstacle? I could stop obsessing and stop thinking everything is supposed to be perfect, because perfect doesn't exist. Number 5, perfection. How can you challenge yourself to get past the perfectionism-procrastination trap? Again, I have to stop obsessing. It's easier said than done, because I have, coupled with my anxiety and bouts of depression, I have extreme OCD also, and I think my OCD is more about obsessing about the things that I have control over, because obviously the things I don't have control over, I can't really steer or navigate where things are going. But those little things that I do have control over, I obsess about them. And so certain things have to be perfect. I almost didn't start this AuthorTube channel because I was waiting for everything to be perfect. I was waiting to have the perfect equipment, the perfect lighting, the perfect setup, the perfect, following already. And if I had waited and waited and waited, I still wouldn't be doing this, because I'm shooting this on a Kindle right now. I don't have a fancy camera. I'm using natural light, so I have to shoot during the day because, again, I don't have any lighting. So if I had waited, I wouldn't be here with you guys now, and I would have regretted waiting, because I would have found another reason down the road not to start, even when I had the fancy equipment and the lighting. There would have been something else, because there's always something else, because nothing is ever going to be perfect. Number 6, failure sucks. How can you grow from a failure? Easy. Figure out what you did wrong that made it fail and learn from those lessons. I recently did a video on the things that to think about before you sign a publishing contract, and those at the time, they were seen as failures, mistakes, but now they're, I learned from that. Those are lessons that I can take into the future. If I ever do get a contract to publish again, these are things that I would think about this time. I learned from that. It helped me grow, and it developed me into a more conscious person in terms of when I sit down to sign something, what am I signing? It made me learn how to be a better advocate for what it is I want, what I expect, and to find out what is expected of me, because it's not always about what I expect. Sometimes it's also about what someone else expects. So failure are just, they're lessons to take into the next journey, or they're lessons for you to take with you as you move forward into the next phase of your journey. And if you look at it that way, you will stop seeing them so much as a failure and more as, okay, how can I grow from this? How can I learn from this? Number 7, rejection sucks too. How can you grow and learn from rejection? Rejection is a part of writing. It's a hard part of writing. I, for one, personally do not like to be rejected. It kind of feels personal sometimes. I can't tell you how many stacks of rejection letters I have from querying that I've done, and it always feels like a bit of a personal attack. I get excited about the ones that come with notes, because I know that when an agent takes the time to actually give you notes, that means they've really read it. They're not just sending you a form letter. I don't think I've ever really gotten a form rejection letter, which at the time I didn't think about how good of a thing that was. But now I know that most agents, if they send you a form rejection letter, you don't even really know if they've read it. It could just not fall in the genre that they represent, and they could have just put it to the side. They may not have even looked. I'm not saying, to all you agents out there, I'm not saying that you don't read the work. I'm just saying, when you get a form letter, it's hard to really know if this person really read it. But when you get a letter with notes and critiques and comments in the margin, and this piece of dialogue maybe doesn't fit right here, I've gotten those notes, which looking back makes me feel a little better, because that means they've read it. They at least were interested enough to actually give me notes. So maybe that was a good thing. But rejection still hurts. It still feels personal, like a personal attack. But you have to get over it, and you have to understand it's for the betterment of your story and your writing career. Number 8, create action. How do you keep moving towards your goals? Just keep moving. I'm a spiritual person, so I pray a lot. I do my devotionals, and if I'm really feeling like really stuck or really questioning things, I go to God. Um, so between my spirituality and just trying to keep keep my eyes forward and keep my eyes on the goal, there have been times I've wanted to give up. Um, there have been times I believe that I have given up, and those were during bouts of depression where I just kind of just said, the hell with it. And once you come out of it, sometimes it's you get better and you grow stronger. And I think that was me. It's just made me push harder and go harder at my goals. And now I'm just eyes forward and focused. And I rely on God and my talent, of course. Number 9, new year, new outlook. If fear wasn't holding you back, what would you be doing right now to further your writing dreams? Um, hmm, I'm doing it right now, this very minute. I'm talking to you guys because fear was what was keeping me from doing this channel for a long time, and fear and wanting everything to be perfect, which is just kind of a cover up for the fear. Um, so I'm doing it, and I believe that this is going to help me be better as a writer. It's also going to help me in my career because I want to be able to talk publicly about my work when this pandemic is over and we're actually allowed to freely go places. I want to do book tours and book signings. I want to travel and I want to talk about my work. I want to do motivational speaking about other things. I have nonfiction books that I want to do motivational speaking about that. And this is helping me because without this, I don't know that I would be able to even think about getting in front of a room full of people or a crowd of people and talk to them, because this is hard for me. But being able to do it is helping me grow. I already can feel the growth. I'm sorry if you hear the car alarm outside. Someone set their alarm off. But I can already feel the growth. I can already feel that my confidence is growing a little bit. I'd like it to grow a little faster, but slow and steady. But this is what I fear, and I'm already doing it. So I don't know about the future. I can't predict the future. I just know about taking one step at a time, and this was my step for this year. So I can honestly say I've conquered this step. Not to say that there won't be more steps that I might just leap into, but this was a big one for me. And so that's my one thing. Number 10, leap of faith. What is the one thing you plan to do this year, even though it scares you? Again, this was it. Talking to you guys on this camera terrifies me. I'm just, it is making me vulnerable, and I'm not a person that likes to be. I just usually like to keep my vulnerability to my writing, but there are things I want to do in my writing career, in my life, that I'm gonna have to step out of that shell that I have myself in, or from the walls that I put myself behind. And so this is the one thing that scares me. There are some other things, but I don't know if they're going to get tackled this year. This was the big one for me this year, was doing this. Oh, and doing a live stream. Maybe I will get to the point where I do a live stream. That terrifies me because that's even worse than this, because I'll be live, which means I can't edit out my mistakes and take back comments that I'm, oops, I didn't mean to say that. And I can do that when I do the video and record it and not go back and edit. I could just edit it right on out. But a live stream terrifies me because I'm live. Every mistake I'll make, you'll hear it. and there's no going back from it. So that terrifies me. So maybe that will be one thing that if I get to a certain number of subscribers, maybe I will consider doing a live stream. And then I can scratch that off the list for this year too. And that's all the questions for this writer's tag. And again, the link to the video that I got it from will be in the description box. Her channel, Lynn Woolston is the name of the channel, and I will link to her channel and put the questions in the description box. If you should happen to do the tag, please comment and leave a link so I can watch your video. That's it for me today. And if you like the video, if you want to see, interested in seeing more videos from me, hit the like and subscribe button. And until next time, have a blessed day. Bye.